Hi, my name is Kate, and you're very welcome here on my channel where I talk about fragrances. Today, we're going to discuss fragrances that, even though were created long time ago, still smell wonderful and amazing and even modern in some instances today. This is the classic part of my fragrance wardrobe. I personally don't support when somebody says that, oh, this is a grandma scent. After all, Chanel 5, when it was created, was targeted at women in the 20s and 30s. So, you know. Okay, pour yourself some tea, coffee, maybe even wine, and let's start discussing this wonderful, wonderful scents proven by time. I will start with a staple in my personal collection. This is Guerlain Mitsouko. This bottle is from the 90s, early 90s, 1991 or 2, and it contains the real tree moss materials, which is wonderful, and it makes such a big difference compared to the modern version. But don't get me wrong, I think that the last Mitsuko in Eau de Toilette that they're selling today in the stores is wonderful. They really worked on it. They really tried to preserve it. So it's safe to buy that. I was not really agreeing with previous versions that they made, but now it's probably the best time to buy Mitsuko if you don't buy the vintage. I have the vintage. So this is the most famous sheeper, maybe, or okay, maybe not the most famous sheeper. That's not correct. This is the first fruity sheeper because there's a peach note in it. To be honest, I personally don't smell a lot of peach. I'm trying to find it. Sometimes I feel like I did get it, and then there's a different temperature, different humidity, or something, and I lose it again. But it smells like a lot of, there's a whole block of flowers and the middle notes. Of course, it's a sheeper, it's supposed to be that way. There's a fruity side, there is a animalic side, and of course, the oak moss. That is amazing. And surprisingly, it sounds like this fragrance is supposed to be very aggressive, very strong, very like grandma like, as they call it. But I cannot say that. I usually wear sheepers in the fall, and this golden leaves and golden fragrance on you because they definitely do have this kind of orange, yellow, red vibe. And it's amazing when there's a foliage, beautiful burning trees and something like this on you. It just adds to the picture greatly. And Mitsuko is one of the greatest fragrances ever created. I cannot stop saying that. With me, also, I'm used to vintage fragrances and I'm not scared of them anymore. Now we're moving to the year 1983, I believe. And let's talk about Paris by Yves Saint Laurent, YSL. This is the old Paris. I think they have Mon Paris now in a pink bottle with a bow or something. To be honest, I don't like that one too much. I think it's a little bit boring. This one is a different thing. This was created by the great Sophia Groisman, the perfumer, one of the first really strong female perfumers, which I love. And there's a million notes. Let's be honest, all the fragrances, they have like this list of notes on Fragrantica. What I smell here, it's rose petals and a glass of dry bubbly. Probably it's very nice dry champagne. I like it a lot. It even creates this sensation in my nose, like it's bubbly, like doing that. I love it. It's so classic and it makes me straighten up my spine like this. I cannot sit like this when I'm wearing this fragrance. No, I'm doing this automatically. I don't even have to try or think about it. This is just what my body does when I wear this fragrance. And also, fun fact, I was wearing this fragrance when I met Tom Hanks. I met Tom Hanks, guys. Actually, I'm not really lucky when it comes to meeting celebrities. Even though I live in NYC, I just don't see people around me. I'm that kind of person. I don't notice things too much around me. I'm in my thoughts mostly. I'm an introvert. And but I met Tom Hanks. So I hope that this can make up for all the celebrities that I ever missed around me here. And it's a wonderful memory. I probably will not sell this ever. And I got it as a gift from my friend, which is also very valuable. I love Paris, the city too. Next, let's come back to Chypre and talk about Paloma Picasso by Paloma Picasso. This is a very famous Chypre fragrance as well. By the way, if you want to learn more about Chypre, I have a video about it. It will be somewhere over here. You can watch it. I talk about Paloma Picasso and Mitsouko there as well. Maybe just in more details with some historic facts. So, Paloma Picasso smells like yellow flowers with honey, oak moss, wood. There is an animalic part as well. Again, notes, amount of notes is like over 100 probably. Okay, I'm joking, but not joking. This fragrance also makes me to stand up straight. I noticed that probably all of these fragrances doing that to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's the classics. It's hard to explain for me, but I feel very much like an adult wearing this. I feel like this is something I would wear to work. You shouldn't overspray or something like this because it's pretty potent. Longevity is over the roof. Of course, it's a cheaper. And it's a beautiful fragrance. Plus, the price for it is extremely low. So I would say this is one of the budget fragrances, and everybody should try it. Just also in order to understand what is the cheaper fragrance, just to understand the style. Even though it's considered old school, they don't really make a lot of fragrances like that anymore. But to get familiar, I personally think it's very important. If you disagree with me or something, write it down in the comments. Or if you agree with me too, write it down. Let's talk about classic fragrances. Next fragrance is Dana Tabu. So I have not the best version of it. I know that perfume maniacs like me usually hunt a version that is in the shape of a musical instrument. I never tried it, so I cannot say. I have only this one, and I ordered it out of curiosity for like $15 or $13. And this is 100 ml. Oh no, sorry. This is 68 milliliters. My fragrance is modern, so this is not a vintage. And oh yes, this is a very nice caramelly amber with a tea aspect. I heard many times from perfume connoisseurs, perfume experts, that it used to be very animalic and taboo. It was something taboo, something prohibited, something that you could not do or could only whisper about. I believe it was in the 60s, in the early 60s, 1963, or something like that. It's an amber fragrance with some spices and flowers and wood, and there's everything. Again, in the pyramid, there's everything. But to me, it's mostly slightly spicy, floral amber fragrance with a strong aspect of caramel, maybe a little bit of honey. It's great. I like it. I don't wear it a lot. You can see that I do wear it, but maybe not a lot. Although I still enjoy having it and having an access to it. But in the future, I would like to try to buy vintage miniature, something just this size would be enough to see how it's supposed to smell. Now let's move to the future again, straight to the 90s. And let's discuss Dune. I have this little miniature because I wasn't sure if I need the whole bottle of this fragrance. And I probably don't still because it's enough. And this is very spicy, very woody. Oh my god, I love it. I just didn't smell it for a while. With miniatures, my problem is that I forget about them because they're so small. When you look at your shelf and there are a lot of big bottles, I neglect the little guys like this, but it's so cute. So it starts with aldehydes and citruses, maybe even a little bit of wood. And then it warms up and becomes a little spicy. There's salty amber as I feel it. There's wood, something like sandalwood or maybe cedar. Probably sandalwood because there's a little bit of lactonic aspect, and sometimes sandalwood gives this lactonic aspect. Flowers, not sure, maybe geranium and rose. Something around rose and geranium. They're pretty close in their scent. I do smell rose now, but it's a kind of peppery rose, you know, a little spicy. There's something spicy about it. It's a great smell, and I should think about a full bottle. But if you know, actually, could you recommend me what is the best Dune version that I should try to get? Because I know there are more successful variations and less successful ones. I mean, successful in how close they are to the general idea and original smell. This one is nice though. I know that Kate Middleton used to wear Dune in her student years, and then when she became a part of a royal family, she started using less daring fragrances. Because this fragrance, it's not quiet. It's the one that says, "Look at me, I'm here." So when you enter the room, it will fill the room. It's pretty potent. I actually associate Kate Middleton with something like this. I feel like now she's like this force that cannot come out. This is this calm force, and this is definitely not Dune. Probably when she was younger, Dune was great on her. This is how I imagine young Kate Middleton. There are two more extremely legendary fragrances left that I wanted to speak about in more detail. Let's go back in time again and talk about Shalimar. Now we move to the year 1925. And according to the famous legend, Jacques Guerlain is experimenting with Chic. He decided to put a lot of vanilla in Chic, and either it was an accident or he was doing it on purpose. We don't really know, but we have Shalimar. I mean, who doesn't know Shalimar, right? One of the most successful fragrances in history. It just speaks for itself. And the story behind it is very cute. If you have time, read, if you don't know it yet, read about what Shalimar is and what is the inspiration behind it. So, this is the amber that starts with lavender and bergamot. Then it goes down, and there are a lot of different flowers, including rose, wood, and leather. And then it goes even deeper, and there is amber and vanilla and wood and animalic notes. So this is Shalimar. This is huge. This is also just like Dune, the fragrance that says, "Look at me, I'm here. I just came here 2 seconds ago, but everybody knows about it." This is a very strong, potent fragrance. I don't wear it myself because I feel like for some reason Shalimar is not great on me. I feel like we're separate. Like the fragrance is wearing me rather than I am wearing fragrance, if you know what I mean. Sometimes you just don't match. So there's no strong match between us. But my man wears it. It's his winter fragrance, his winter staple. And I love it because I love the scent, but I don't want to be too close to it, if you know what I mean. Yes, famous amber, as it used to be called, Oriental. Great fragrance, very strong, but the modern version, not my kind of thing. But, but, there is this little guy that came straight from the 60s. Yes, guys, I have a miniature. I mean, it's not really miniature. Maybe nowadays it's called miniature, but it used to be like a kind of a full size. This is extract. So this is wrapped because I'm afraid that it's gonna vape or fall or leak. You know, that's why I keep this thing on it when I don't use it. Shalimar in extract version. This is incredible. I wish it was bigger. It's only 15 ml, I believe, or 20, something like that. And it's already not full. This is one of the best vanillas I've ever smelled. This is very amber. There's leather too. There's lavender. It's like everything the best in Shalimar. The difference between them, also, this is not extract version, right? This is EDP, the Parfum. But I could compare them for you because these are the only two that I have. And this is very sharp and it smells like a rubber to me, you know, like a rubber in the top notes. A lot of people complain it smells like rubber to them, and it's something you have to get used to if you want to use Shalimar. This doesn't do that. This is just the best part of Shalimar. Like they just wiped everything that is not necessary, that is just distracting you from the best thing, and left that best thing in the middle so you can enjoy it as much as you want. Of course, this is not a sprayer and you have to apply it on your skin. So it stays pretty strong. Also because it has a lot of oil content. Of course, it sits closer to your skin. It doesn't project much, but the scent is incredible. Vanilla and amber. I already mentioned what I smelled before. I cannot stop admiring this. I even have the original box here, and I'm just so happy to have it. It's incredible. Guerlain. Thank you. And the last classic for today that I also want to show you in two variations is Chanel 5. Of course, Chanel 5, forever Chanel 5. 1920s, created for young women, by the way, in the 20s and early 30s, I think they targeted. And this is aldehydes and jasmine and ylang ylang and a little bit of wood. And yes, I think that Chanel 5 is incredible, especially in winter when it's very cold and like real winter, with snow and everything. It sparkles like diamonds. I know 1957, I believe, or 1932, which one from the boutique line of Chanel that is dedicated to their jewelry line. That one is supposed to smell like diamonds. I think 1957. I need to check that. I forgot. But this also smells like diamonds and it's great. It's just beautiful. I don't understand how people say that it smells like an old person. It does not. It's clean, sparkling. It smells like champagne with flowers, diamonds, everything sparkly, like it's celebration of New Year's, like New Year's party. And it's just so, so beautiful. And I also have something interesting here. This is a vintage Chanel 5 Parfum. So this is perfume. I'm like bragging here a little bit, but I like it so much. So let me brag, okay? So this is the perfume Chanel 5 from the 70s. Little miniature too. I don't remember what size it is. Probably 20 ml, I think. And I'll just open it to tell you more. I just wore it when I went to the Broadway show. I thought, Channel 5 Broadway show, beautiful. So it was my first Broadway show, okay? So don't laugh at me. And I don't even know how to describe this. This smells like much more intensified version of this. It's not aldehydes, it's aldehydes. It's not ylang ylang or jasmine or something. It's like jasmine and rose. The modern Channel 5 smells very modern. I cannot say that it smells like a vintage. This does smell like a vintage, and I can tell that the materials that they use, they don't really use now. The perfumers today don't use the same kinds of materials, that's for sure. If it was a blind testing or something, I would recognize that it's a vintage fragrance, that it's not new at all. I will use a piece of paper to tell you more about it. I don't want contact with the skin for this one. So at first I smell aldehydes with neroli. I'm pretty sure this is neroli, maybe bergamot, something citrusy. Then later on the skin, I started smelling iris and rose and something like lily of the valley. If you know that smell, you know what I mean. Bitterness, lily of the valley, dark green, bitter scent. And in a base, I can smell civet, something animalic. I believe they also mention oak moss. I can feel this dark base. So civet and oak moss, it makes sense if they were here. And I can also smell this Chanel like patchouli. I think patchouli that Chanel makes didn't change much, since those times, like 70s to today, if I smell Coromandel or some other fragrances by Chanel, I smell the same patchouli, or at least pretty similar. It definitely has the DNA. I think they try to keep it. They try to be gentle with Chanel 5 DNA, and they kind of managed to do that, although they made it very modern, especially in 5 Low. So the Low version is definitely very modern and would be very good for younger people. Like I can see younger girls wearing it, they like 17, 16, 18, 20, like anything. I can see them wearing it. 85 too. There is a girl inside of every woman, so right? Here, I can say that it smells like an older person. Yes, old, rich person who wears Chanel, definitely. But there is a class in it. There's definitely a class in it. Okay, guys, what do you think? Tell me about your thoughts. Do you wear older fragrances, the vintage, retro, or do you think that it's something strange and weird today? Share your opinions. Everybody's welcome. Really curious what you think, because I really wonder how people see this topic now and what would win, yes or no. Okay, thank you for being here and see you in other videos. Bye bye.